Hi guys, and welcome to another Sunday slot for teens or anyone else and everyone else. This week we're going to be looking at welcoming the foreigner, and I have a little activity for you just at the beginning of this video. So what is the definition of foreign? What is the definition of foreign? So it might be that you just want to pause the video to reflect, pause it and write it down, or pause it and discuss it with someone. But what is your best definition you can come up with for the word foreign? So pause the video and come back to me. So I'm going to assume that you've paused the video and come back to me. And I started looking at definitions, and the dictionary definition for foreign says this: of, from, in, or characteristic of a country or language other than one's own. So that's someone kind of being from a different nation. Or there was another definition that came up which said strange and unfamiliar. So I want us to take it the word foreign in a broader sense of someone who is different from us. The Bible actually has loads to say about how we should treat people who are different to us, lots and lots of bits. But the one that I wanted to pull out today was from Leviticus 19:33 to 34, and it says, "Do not mistreat foreigners living in your country, but treat them just as you treat your own citizens. Love foreigners as you love yourselves, because you were once foreigners in Egypt. I am the Lord your God." Now, as always, there are lots of different things we could pull out of readings such as these. We could explore immigration, refugees, racism, sexism, all sorts, loads and loads and loads. But I just want us to look at the general broader sense, as I mentioned before, of someone who is different to us. We're called to love everyone, our neighbour, one another, our enemies, ourselves, you name it, we've got everyone to love. And we know that sharing that love demonstrates the love of God. Sometimes this might come really easy to us. But if we're really honest, sometimes it's actually really hard and it doesn't come easy at all. So keep this in mind, I guess, when we've heard some of that reading from Leviticus, and I just want to add a little bit of context to it. So anyone who was not in the nation of Israel was a foreigner. But again, the Jews, so the people from Israel, were meant to love and embrace them as their own. We also know from other books in the Bible, like Ezekiel, that the foreigner, so the person who'd come in, was even allocated an inheritance from the tribe in which they lived in, so the tribe that they had come into. They were entitled to all the rights and privileges of a native Israel. So they were entitled to all the same things that the native people were entitled to. God really wanted to hook them up just like a natural born citizen. It's probably also good to point out that there were still some conditions of the foreigner being welcomed as a native. They did still have to obey some of the laws of the land and understand the way of living if they had come into that tribe. So this got me thinking, I wonder how far we would go accepting foreigners. And that might be we as in we as the UK, it might be we as a church, it might be we as a family, or it might be we as me or you. Would I welcome them into my community? Would I be a bit sceptical? Would I be a bit unsure, or a bit maybe always thinking the worst? Would I question them? Would I ask them about their background? Would I want them to obey my rules? Would I want them to obey the rules of the land? And maybe just have a think about some of those questions, about how far would we go to accepting a foreigner? My thoughts then went on to how I've been a foreigner in lots of different countries. I've lived in China, and I've lived in Italy, and I've travelled to quite a lot of countries in the world. And in most of those places, I've been accepted and welcomed almost as if I was a native, actually. New Zealand visa application is rigorous, so it's really, really hard, and it takes up a lot of time. So when you want to visit New Zealand, you have to go through this lengthy process, and within that process, you kind of have to prove many things. To even be able to get into the country in the first place, you kind of have to prove where you're going to live. You have to prove your income. How will you support yourself? Do you have any family in the country? Are you intending to live on your own? Are you bringing someone else over? How long will you be staying? There's a whole load of information that they need in order for you to go to the country and for your visa to be accepted. Imagine if being a Christian was like a visa application. If we had to prove things about our income, our background, ourselves, about our family. And if I'm really honest, if that was the case, I'm not sure I'd make the cut. I'm not sure my visa application for Christianity would be good enough. Just another bit of food for thought. The entire point of the Bible is to serve as a love letter from God to mankind about how much He loves us and desires that we return to Him in Jesus Christ. God extends His hand and freely welcomes from every nation. So from every nation, that includes various races, languages, accents, skin tones, hair textures, genders, and sexual orientation. God is not racist or sexist. He couldn't be. He created all races and all people. And as it says in Galatians 3:28, God does not show favoritism. And I want to set you a challenge this week. And it's a challenge around being empathetic. So it's a challenge around empathy. And being empathetic means having an open mind and accepting these unique differences, accepting people who are different to you. So this week, the next time you are around someone who appears to be your polar opposite or who appears to be different to you, I want you to challenge yourself to get to know that person better. Not by quizzing them like a visa application, but to get to know their heart. Remember, one of our definitions of foreign was that it meant strange or unfamiliar. Well, if we get to know someone's heart, surely they're no longer strange or unfamiliar. And I hope that you have a really happy Sunday or whatever day of the week that you're watching this on. Stay blessed and stay safe. And I hope that we've given you some food for thought this week. Have a great week, guys. Bye.